Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is CeeChronicles and I go by that name across all my social media platforms. I am on TikTok as well as Instagram in case you'd like to check out my work outside YouTube. Now on this platform, I post fragrance related content, and if you like that style of content, please do consider subscribing and joining the family. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for the continued support. Now welcome to today's video, guys. I have 3 fragrances from the house of Arabian Oud, and these I have the privilege to come and bring or review to you because they came with Ajwa. Ajwa is a fan of the Arabian Oud house and she has a few in her collection, so I did select just 3 because I had to keep it reasonable, right? So I have 3 to review for you here. I've got the original Madawi, the 40th anniversary Madawi, as well as the Resala. I'm going to give you my thoughts, guys. I have featured this house before, but it was in a warehouse, so I didn't get to open the fragrances. I just showed you some of the more pricey Middle Eastern fragrances. So when Ajwa, and her channel, by the way, is Ajwa Loves Fragrances. I'm going to leave it in the description for those who'd like to check it out, and possibly, guys, if you would kindly subscribe. Now, I saw these fragrances and they were pricey, so I didn't buy any and I didn't smell any. So when Ajwa was coming, it was easy for me to say, could you bring the Arabian Oud, fragrances, because I just wanted a whiff of them. Now I'm going to start, guys, by reviewing this one. It's not in its box, but I'm going to presume that it comes in a box similar to this. If I'm mistaken, then I stand to be corrected. She did not bring it in the box because she was trying to reduce the number of luggage that she had to carry. So this is a close-up, guys, of Madawi Gold Edition 40 Years. I'm not going to spray this one on myself, guys, simply because it's a very polarizing scent, as well as the other one that I have here. This is going to last you a couple of days. That is the one thing I established. So it's a commitment, and if you don't like it, you may find yourself scrubbing it off, because that is how strong these fragrances are, and possibly that is why the price maybe is justifiable to some. I'm gonna smell it off the nozzle like this, and I can tell you immediately I get a sweet tone, warm, spicy style of fragrance there. It is safe but exotic at the same time. You can tell that there is artistry in this particular juice. The sweetness of this fragrance is also safe enough for me to even call it a vanilla scent. So in as much as it does have those fruits, it is amped up there in the vanilla, right? So you're gonna get a prominent sweetness there, working with that exotic tone in the fragrance, and the fruits also coming there to the surface. That fantasy note of the pineapple blossom doing the most. Some of you are going to be able to extract the pineapple the most, but it's not a cheap smelling pineapple. It's one of those pineapples, or that pineapple fantasy note, that is so refined, giving this a little bit of a tropical tone without it being one that I would put at top 10 tropical, if you know what I mean. But there is like an identifiable tropical tone to this fragrance. It is also woody in nature, and there is something there that comes across as a tad bit masculine. So because there is not too many woods in this, though it's woodsy and spicy, I'm going to attribute that masculine tone that you get even from the nozzle here to a masculine leaning tonka, because tonka, depending on how it is played around with a fragrance, can sometimes have that masculine weight to it. So I get a masculine leaning tonka here. By masculine leaning tonka, if I am to shift from this review, just to give you an example of where you would find a masculine leaning tonka, is in Good Girl, by herein. Then these fragrances are not the same at all. I'm just trying to give you an example of, if you have sprayed Good Girl by herein and you feel there's something about it that is a bit masculine there, it is the tonka. So the tonka sometimes will be light, will be woody, sometimes will be earthy and stuff, sometimes spicy, but sometimes can make a fragrance have a little bit of a tone there that pulls masculine. So just by the nozzle there, I smell a masculine accord. So if you're a person that judges fragrances just based on just smelling them offset, you might think this is masculine, but it is that fruity tone of this fragrance that makes it wearable even to the ladies, right? Even to an extent, maybe some men might actually find it too sweet, if you will, because there is a sweet piercing thing going on in the background. There's also an earthy patchouli, guys, in this fragrance, something as well that comes off as smoky and underlying tobacco-ness, but these are notes that are coming of my head because this does not list incense or smoke or anything like that, but I just get an overall like an incensey smoky thing that's happening in the background, and it kind of fuses with everything else, giving a very beautifully refined juice, something that is adaptable. Say for instance you don't like it offset, it comes across as something that can you could get used to. It also might open up a little bit loud there, but it becomes one of the most beautiful sweet spicy Middle Eastern style fragrance that wraps you around, but that is very beautiful and very enjoyable. So the exotic nature of this fragrance is one that is going to make it stand out, and it's going to give you the compliments, possibly if you're one that wears fragrances for compliments. And it is a DNA that I cannot liken to anything that I have within my collection, so it's well crafted in that regard. It's not even a fragrance that I can class in a certain group to say, okay, this is I can tell you that this is Middle Eastern toned, and everything in it is safe, but it has that exotic tone to it, that complexity to it that makes it a little bit different. So that's as far as I can go when it comes to this one. Last the next couple of days, Madawi Gold Edition 40 Years is this one. I'm going to tell you my most favorite before I leave. So next up is going to be the original Madawi. Now this is a fragrance that made me delay making this review because out of the three that she came with, this was the most complex to describe. Okay, it's a tease in the sense that you feel as though you know it, you feel as though you've come across something like this, but at the same time it kind of keeps having these twists and turns that make it hard to pin. But it is also built around a very nectarous, even fleshy peach note and some fruit. So do expect a fruity toned fragrance in this. Okay, and though it somehow interprets as soft, it's very polarizing at the same time. It's just like a gentle giant, like a gentle beast, where you kind of feel like, say you were not warned, okay, you could find yourself having doused yourself in this and possibly looking for the nearest place where you can either buy a new item of clothing to change your clothes altogether or to wipe it off, because it's one of those fragrances that are smooth but stubborn, very stubborn, if you know what I mean. There's also that pineapple and apple, so there is those two fantasy notes as well, but in this case they work with florals and a very heavy musk. The musk, I think, is the one that bothers me a little bit in this one, because I think it's doing a little bit too much. It comes off even as soapy there, as though the fragrance itself has got like a laundry accord to it, but it's very different, and it's one that needs time. This is the sort that needs time, not in terms of getting used to, but even the wearer, the sort that maybe if you don't get along with it, you want to spray your clothes, say 3-4 hours before you wear the clothes, and then you wear the clothes. Remember I said it's not an aggressive DNA. It's very smooth there and well-rounded, but it's very stubborn in the sense that it can be too much of a good thing going on. If I am to be asked to choose, between the two, I'm going to say this one is exotic and very different, but it was a no-brainer to like. This has got a familiarity to it where it's quite adaptable. It will be adaptable to a lot of people, but the anniversary one beats this one by a mile. So I'm going to say this you may need to test, but having said that, again, some of you might try it and think, what was she on about? Because it's not really a very what can I say? It's not really a very complicated DNA per se, but there is something in it that is a bit pushy there, where you might find yourself thinking, this is doing a little bit too much. I also get a DNA in here that is more feminine than one that I get in here. This one seems to have been crafted to be safer for both genders, while this one does have that feminine accord to it, that laundry thing accords to it, that musk that's doing a little bit too much, and a beautiful, peach. So if you love peach, you're gonna love this, but you have to contend with everything else that's going on there. That's quite pushy for 3 hours, after which it then relents. But if you like this DNA, of course you're gonna go to town with it, because it is also refined. It also feels, very well put together. Like, there was a lot of work that went into this, but it is just a DNA that, say for instance, I were to choose, I personally wouldn't purchase this one. It's the original Madawi, guys, and there's a second one on the lineup. Now the third one, which is also going to be the last one, is Resala. Remember, the packaging for these is quite huge. So when Ajwa came with them, This I think she actually did make sure to put in the packaging because of this leaf and the design of the bottle. Otherwise, you know, I wasn't going to fuss her about making sure that it's in the packaging, because this kind of packaging can be very flashy and huge and stuff. And she actually had a bit of a problem there with immigration when she was coming in, because they said she had too many perfumes, and not only that, she had too many expensive perfumes. So they did attempt to charge her, you know, duty until they did establish, because we had to explain ourselves that you know, this is, we just, you know, doing a cross hobby collab kind of thing, and it's not like she's coming to sell them or anything like that. And then after, you know, seeing all that, they did understand, and they, you know, but otherwise, if this was sealed, these are the sort of fragrances that in my country you would pay duty, because they are pricey, right? So this is Resala, guys, the third and last one that I asked her to bring, and all I can say about this one is it's a gorgeous DNA, a chocolate rendition to the popular Oud Bouquet by Lancôme, right? Chocolate rendition in the sense that the Oud Bouquet has got that creamy, milky, lactonic praline. This one takes the chocolate direction. Also does list the rose, which is something that you're going to get from that Lancôme Oud Bouquet DNA, and then the saffron, as well as the vanilla and the woods. This, unfortunately, is the underwhelming one. Okay, underwhelming one. But given a choice, as I said, I find the original Madawi a little bit challenging. Given a choice, say somebody told me, okay, pick two, and these are the three that are on the lineup, I would include this one and leave the original Madawi, go for the 40 Years Gold Edition and this one, right? But caution, this is a DNA that has been played around with a lot of times. It does have the refinement that this house is known for, polished, in sync, everything is okay. But just for the fact that it has that, you know, oud bouquet type of style or fragrance, even though it changes in the end, where it takes that chocolatey direction, at least to my nose. It is, unfortunately, to me, a fragrance that I'm clouded and cannot see past why I would want it, as opposed to the other renditions of the same style of DNA that have been thrown on the market. So it is a gorgeous fragrance. If you haven't played around with a lot of that oud bouquet type of style DNA. I'm not saying this is one-on-one, okay? This is, to me, feels a lot better, a lot well-rounded, a better polished type of fragrance. Nothing in here is screaming or anything like that. You know, the chocolate is actually rounding up this fragrance very nicely, and there is woods there, and there is something in those woods that come across as though there is, you know, the use of the oud. I still say I get oud in this, but they didn't list the oud. But it is just looking past that and asking my mind whether I would want to pay, you know, say 5-10 times more for a DNA that's probably going to vibe the same to other people. Okay, to other people. To you, the wearer, you will know how special the fragrance you're wearing is, but to other people, it's just going to come across as okay, this person was either smelling of Lancôme Oud Bouquet, Shahaf Oud, maybe not so much Oud Mood, but maybe Sheikh Al Shayuk Deluxe Edition, that sort of thing. So it is in that uniform style of fragrances, and it's because of that woody tone that wraps up those fragrances and is very present in those fragrances. It makes it very difficult to then see past anything else. So once you get that woody tone there, it makes it difficult to then decipher some of the notes there. I remember coming here with Sir Malika, and I was saying, when I smelled it the first time, because of that oud mood, Lancôme Oud Bouquet, that Shahaf Oud, I found it very difficult, you know, to move past the fact that Sir Malika actually had the apple to justify why it smelled like that. Because once you get into that style of fragrance, or once you know that style of fragrance and you're accustomed to it, and there's so many versions of it, it makes it very difficult to then look past that. So that's what I can say about Resala. But the good thing about Resala now, because I had to physically spray this, because I wanted to know, I said, this one I'm familiar with, and it's going to be easy for me to crack. The good thing about Resala, guys, this is still on my jumper up to now, and no kidding, this is like 4, if not the 5th day. It's still on my jumper where I sprayed it. It's so strong that 1 or 2 sprays, 3, pushing it are going to do it. And even then, I'd say start maybe at the bottom of your ham or something, because it is quite a strong fragrance, one of the most polarizing ones, one of those that those who say I want my fragrance to announce me are going to love this. Doesn't have the squeechiness of, say, oud mood. They've smoothened the edges there. They have concentrated even some of the notes there. They have sweetened it. It's a very sweetened type of fragrance. I'm just trying to give you the differences there. Oud mood is going to be the sharper one. Sheikh Al Shayuk is going to be okay, a bit rounded, but a little bit shy there. Not lasting a couple of days. The Shahaf Oud is going to have the similar DNA, but lasting till the next wash. This goes the whole 9 yards. The real thing, of course, I don't have here to compare, but this goes the whole 9 yards with that sweet chocolate and serving, the wearer with a guaranteed fragrance that's going to last the longest. So in terms of favorites, I'm going to say Madawi Gold Edition 40 Years is the most favorite. This, money permitting, I would purchase. This, I would purchase, right? Followed by this, because this, I think I would work around how to wear it. Spray my clothes first, leave them, let them chill and stuff. And because it does transition to other stages later, this would be my second favorite. And the least favorite would have to be this one, because the musk, I feel, is doing a little bit too much, wrapping that peachy tone in a soapy wrap up that gives it like a laundry feel. And it was just something that, in as much as it changed later on, I just couldn't get past the fact that it would have to be a fragrance I spray 4 or 5 hours earlier and then get to enjoy way later. Whereas with these other two, you get to enjoy them almost immediately. This one, you just have to spray in small doses. The 40th edition, you can go to town about. It's a beautiful fragrance and it's very nice and exotic. So that's it, guys. That is what I can say about the 3 fragrances. She has great taste, Ajwa. Really, really great taste, because she did bring some of the fragrances from her collection, and she asked me, to tell her my thoughts on the fragrances, and I did tell her. I said, girl, you've got great taste. So thank you so much for joining me today. My name is C Chronicles. Remember to check out Ajwa's channel. I want to leave it in the description. Kindly leave a subscription. Let us help Ajwa. She is a fellow reviewer like myself, a young sister of mine, and she did, go the extra mile to come and visit me, which was a pleasant refreshment to this channel. So kindly subscribe. Remember to turn on post notifications on this channel. That way you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Like and share this video, and remember, guys, that smelling good, let me just hold this for the thumbnail. Remember, guys, that smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.